Howdy, everyone. Welcome back to another IndySoft Tip Tuesday. It's your good friends,
Henry.
and,
Chuckles.
or just Chuck. Chuck works
Chuck
fine.
works too. Sorry about that, everybody.
We noticed that a lot of people are upgrading, probably due to the fact that we released a new version of the software.
Version 12.
Yeah, if you haven't seen any of our other blasts, this is a plug for version 12 IndySoft. It is now released. So, in the spirit of upgrading, this Tip Tuesday is all about upgrading, you guessed it. And we're actually going to be walking through a standard Firebird upgrade from version 11 to version 12 on a single user. Single user to keep things just simple and localized on my own machine, but we're using Firebird because that happens to be one of the trickiest ones, and a lot of people seem to be having a couple of issues here and there with how they go about it. So we wanted to put this out there to clear the air a little bit. So there are a couple of things you need to do to upgrade. The first being you need to actually install the new version of the client. The version 12 is database version 8, actually. But when you install the client, that tells your database settings to look for version 8 database. It'll look and see that you're still in an older version and then tell you that you need to upgrade. So to kind of show you that, I have a little exe here. Go ahead and close this, and we will install the client.
And you want to make sure that you're installing, if you're not single user, you obviously have to install on the machine locally. When you actually upgrade the database, you want to either install from the server or from a computer that has a really good 2-tier connection. You never want to do it from a 3-tier connection. Keep that in mind.
Yep. It'll be unbelievably slow if you do. And C, you might lose a connection and potentially corrupt your database.
Absolutely. And while we're waiting for this to install and everything, some rules to live by when you're upgrading a database. General rules, not just pertaining to Firebird, but to MS SQL and Oracle as well. Really importantly, you want to make sure that nobody is trying to hit your database.
Correct.
If somebody's trying to write to it and you're upgrading it, you're updating it, adding tables, altering tables, you could end up with corruption issues possibly.
That's bad news bears.
Absolutely.
Number two.
The second one would be run the upgrade from a machine that has a speedy connection. We already said that, but it pertains to MS SQL, Firebird, and Oracle.
And also, you want to make a backup just in case anything goes wrong. You can always go back to that backup. So, like we said earlier, we're doing Firebird. For the sake of this, we're going to say we're a calibration management version. So let's go ahead and reinstall it. I already have version 12, so it's just going to go through the steps of installing it as if I didn't.
Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, this
Absolutely.
is probably going to be the most exciting Tip Tuesday we have ever made.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Very fast-paced.
Absolutely.
And preemptively open up a file explorer here. There we go. Isn't that neat? Hey, and it's done. We don't need to run the client. It's just going to tell. Yeah, and all it's going to do is say your database needs to be upgraded. So now we can go to our program files.
Our installation directory. So wherever this installs to, single user or multi-user, you can run it from either place.
Right. So pretend we're on the server right now, because we are on the server because it is a single user. So here we have our installation directory. I installed 64-bit. If it was 32-bit, it'd be here in the 86. So we go in here and we open up our database settings. If you run the test connection here, we'll get that same message we would have gotten if we tried to open the client. Test connection successful, but we're on an old version.
So where do we go, Chuck? What do we do now? We got to upgrade the database. What's the name of the executable?
Well, it is named ISUpdb.
ISUpdb, not to be confused with ISUpdate. ISUpdb with the red symbol there is what you want to run. And I recommend running it with the right click as administrator so that you don't run into weird scenarios otherwise.
Correct. Yes, we would like to make changes to our device. And here we go. So this looks very similar to your database settings because it is basically just a clone of that, except it is a segue into the actual process. What we can also do here is we can delete IndySoft temporary files. We went ahead and did that before this, but you probably want to do that before you upgrade as well. And just to show you, you can go and check if you go to your IndySoft temp directory like that. Make sure everything's cleared out.
We're going to leave that open though too for a little bit later though, Chuck. Don't close that quite yet.
All right. And what happened to
Where are we? Who are we?
all of my... I'm just going to pull these to the side.
There it is.
Okay. So we go to the next step, and then you must log in.
System administrators only are allowed to do this.
Correct. And then we get this. Beautiful. We are version 7.6. We need to go to version 8. Everything seems to be in order, and we can go ahead and start the process.
Now, this is a basic 11 to 12 upgrade for Firebird. I will say, with a couple of asterisks here, if you're upgrading from version 10 in Firebird, you have to do it from the server because there's actually a Unicode upgrade, and you have to run it as an administrator. So if you're going from 10 to 12, and you hear that, some flashers should go off. It's only from Firebird, though. MSSQL, Oracle, that's all good. You don't have to worry about that so much. But from Firebird, you have to do it from the server as an administrator. And if you're going from version 10 or sooner to version 12 and you're uncomfortable, please call us. We're happy to help. If you're going from version 8 for some reason, you're out there with the older software and you said it's finally time to do it, please call us because the actual procedure is quite tricky. There are a few things we have to do. So from version 8 to version 9 or later, if you're in version 8 and you're upgrading your database, please call us.
Awesome. So we have now completed our update. We have no errors, but if you do, after you hit OK, it will pull up a screen showing you all the errors. If you get any of these, please send them in. Give us a call. We'll be happy to check them out. Sometimes you get an error that says the table already exists. Maybe that's because you manually added that table with the same name. Stuff like this happens, and we have to go in and do a little bit of quick coding to fix it for you.
Exactly. And also, if you do get an error, what is super useful for us, which is why I had to keep the temporary files open. If Chuck pulls it over here, should pull us, yeah. So you'll see who you logged in as. So it says the version number right there. If it's single user, it'll say single, and then it'll say the person you logged in with. So if you double click on that, what you'll actually see is a DB upgrade log. If you get any errors, send us those errors and send us this log here. Those will be super useful in troubleshooting all of the issues that have occurred. So super important to know there. But that's basically it.
Yep. And now we just have to finally run IS dashboard to make sure everything is in order. We didn't get any errors, so everything is fine. But just to demonstrate.
Perfect.
Cool.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thanks for bearing with us. We know this wasn't as exciting as normal on Tip Tuesday, but we felt it was necessary with everyone upgrading.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email us at support@indysoft.com. Happy upgrading, everybody.
Until next time, happy calibrating.